You will always have Joy-Con drift. I feel like I'm like cursing you. This is OLED season, this is OLED season. Leave your screen in the dead of night. So many games to play, but should you update? Let's dive into the news this week. All right, seriously, let's get down to business because there's a lot to talk about this week. All right, friends, our giveaway ends on Monday. I know, so soon and so exciting for those of you who have already entered, but if you haven't entered, this is like your last chance. Do not procrastinate and miss out on a new white Nintendo Switch OLED. To enter, all you gotta do is check out the link in my description. All right, you guys, we have so much to talk about since the OLED came out. Like, there's so much like news and crazy stuff going on. There's like a thing where you're not supposed to remove the screen protector for the OLED, which I didn't even know about. Thank God I didn't do it. And like Joy-Con drama and so much more. Let's dive into it. I'm putting this first because this is the most important to me, and I really hope that this gets to you in time, those of you who do have a Nintendo Switch OLED already. And that is, do not peel off the screen protector. Usually when products come, I know everybody loves what's called the peelies. It's like that feeling of like satisfaction you get when you like pull it off and you just like have your beautiful clean screen. Don't do it on this one. The previous Switch models were all plastic, so it was totally fine when you took that off, but this time it is like the first time of this iteration where it's a glass screen, and that is there to protect it if it shatters from getting glass in your fingers, and nobody wants glass in their fingers. It's kind of like really hard to tell already, and I'm really worried now that I tell you, you're like gonna notice it and wanna peel it off. Don't do it, please. For all that is good in this world, I'm literally crossing my fingers. Please keep it on. The protective film is there for a reason. Don't take it off. Nintendo has said it's totally fine if you want to put like a protective cover over the screen cover they already have. It's not gonna mess anything up or make it more difficult to see, anything like that, so you're still good to go. Okay, next thing up is a question on a lot of people's minds, and I actually got a lot of requests for this, and I'm going to walk you through how to transfer your data from your previous Switch to your new Nintendo Switch OLED. Also gonna walk you through how to just transfer absolutely everything over to the OLED. And last but not least, and most important, I think, I'm gonna walk you through how to transfer your Animal Crossing data, because it is not the same. All right. So to set this up, you're going to need both your original Switch and the Switch OLED like in the same vicinity at the same time. So on your original Switch, you're going to go into System Settings, then User, then Transfer User. Then you just gotta like click through all the explanation screens. Going to select Source Console, and then the user profile is gonna be switched over. So if you have multiple profiles that you're switching over, you're gonna do this multiple times as well to switch over the other profiles. Then you're gonna pick up your OLED. And then you're gonna get your OLED to the point where it has the Add User section. You're gonna select Import User from another Nintendo console, and I kind of think you see where we're going with this. And you have to confirm the console is present. So again, you need to have both consoles, so make sure you don't give away your old model before you do this. Like, you need to have them both together. Also, pro tip, make sure you've updated the both of them before you do this. I know, at least for myself, when I got my OLED, it wasn't updated to the most recent version yet, so I did have to update mine. You won't be able to do this unless they're both updated. It'll just like ask you to update, and then you kind of have to go through all the steps all over again. So save yourself some time and update them both before you do this. All right, so after you've gone to Add User, you're going to input your Nintendo email and password. This is what you use to log into the eShop. So then you're going to select User, and then the option to transfer will now be available on the original Switch. You will see a brand new transfer option. So then you're gonna click that, and once that's completed, you're gonna do that again for every single user you wanna transfer over. There's some games that you also have to individually transfer. You'll be able to find this by going into like the settings of the game, and it should be pretty easy. I know I had to do that myself for a couple games that I was doing, and there's only one game that is significantly different for this, and that's Animal Crossing. For Animal Crossing, here's how you do your entire island transfer. So here's how you transfer your island if you are only going to be playing with your game on your new OLED and not back on the regular Switch. Again, once you do this, you will only be able to visit your specific island on the OLED and no longer on the Switch. Number one, you gotta make sure, obviously, that it's on the latest update. So go do that, then come back. Number two, you're going to download the Island Transfer Tool on your Source system if you haven't already. Once you have the Island Transfer Tool on both systems and you've already switched over your user profile, you're gonna follow the on-screen instructions by clicking continue, and let's begin. This is the nerve-wracking part. Then on Source system, you're gonna select Source. Then when the name of your island is displayed, you're gonna select yes, obviously. This is also very important. Again, if it hasn't been updated yet, you'll be able to tell because your console nickname will show up instead of your island name. So make sure you update it and that it is updated before you continue. On target system, you're gonna select target. Then on source system, you're gonna select continue. When the target system is collected, select transfer data on the source system. When the source system is detected, you're gonna select proceed, and then the data transfer will finally begin. Thank goodness. These are a lot of instructions, so you're welcome, everyone. If you need more detailed instructions, they have a whole list for you on the Nintendo website. I am telling you, this takes longer than actual moving. Or it felt like to me, like it was like an actual move, but the colors are worth it. It's worth the move, you know? You're going to a nicer place. You gotta move all those heavy boxes. Here are the games that I've been playing lately. As we all know, Metroid Dread just came out and I've been having the best time playing it. I think they did just a really good sense of, I mean, it's already in the title, but just like creating dread within this game. I feel like the layout of it is really good. Like they kind of really had it set up where you can't get lost as easily as you can with other games. Sometimes it's frustrating because sometimes you just like want to go back and see what you missed on the previous level, and it doesn't really let you do that. But this is the first Metroid game where I have not gotten terribly, terribly lost. And that feels really good. This game just like really gives you that hopeless feeling that you're being hunted, and like the Emmy villain is just so cool. And they have a lot of really cool callbacks as well with the different like bosses of each level. I will say though, this game is very hard. So if you're not necessarily a skilled gamer, it might take you a really long time to get through this, but it's definitely worth it. And oh my gosh, the colors on the OLED look so good. Like I even did a little test between like my regular Switch and the OLED because I was like, how different is it really? Really different. Everybody also knows I've been playing through Pokemon Snap again. I'm in a little Pokemon Snap renaissance. I've just been having a good little relaxing time. Like I just like snuggle in my bed with my OLED and play through Pokemon Snap, and it is just like so relaxing and peaceful, and I really love it. I've also been getting my island ready for fall. Like I cannot wait until like the leaves actually change colors. Like I'm gonna waiting on it. I feel like it's been a while. Like October's already halfway through and there's still no fall colors. I know like it's been in November in the past, but I just feel like that's too long. So, you know, I feel like I've done all I can. I just really need those different colored leaves to really like bring actual change. So hopefully we'll see more of that in the direct too on the 15th. I'm hoping like right after that we'll be able to immediately download the update, but only time will tell. I also feel like this is a really good time just in general to get into Animal Crossing because I think we're gonna get a big update soon. So if your island's been, you know, collecting some cockroaches, getting some weeds, now is the perfect time to clean it up and get ready to play. All right, it's time for the
I was right dance.
Woo! I was right. Grand Theft Auto is coming to the Switch. I reported on this a while ago when it was a rumor, and I was like, I'm pretty sure it's gonna be like 90% true. And it was true. It's 100% true now, so I was right. There are not a ton of details on this yet. Like we don't even have a release date, really. But it is for sure coming to the Switch. Nintendo even tweeted about it. That's how serious it is. Nintendo tweeted a poster for Grand Theft Auto, the trilogy, which includes the games Grand Theft Auto 3, Grand Theft Auto San Andreas, and Grand Theft Auto Vice City. The price is leaked, and I feel like this is gonna make people a little angry. It's looking like it's gonna be $60 on the Switch, which you can get the same game pack on your phone for $5 for each game. That's a big difference. $15, $60. But again, you are playing them on your phone versus an actual console. But still, I predict a lot of controversy coming about this very soon. Like I said, there is no release date in writing yet, but I'm thinking probably either gonna be like the holiday season, you know, when everybody's looking for gifts for people, or spring. Did Nintendo admit that Joy-Con drift is unfixable? All right, it seems like Nintendo is finally done gaslighting us about Joy-Con drift, but they've been being really fishy and dodgy answering recent questions about Joy-Con drift. I'll explain. In a recent interview, Yamashita said, "The analog stick parts have continuously been improved since launch, and we are still working on improvements." Kind of giving that like we're aware of the problem and we're slowly fixing it, which is weird to me because Nintendo has been very quiet about improvements. I feel like you would want to announce, hey, new and improved Joy-Cons. Like, I feel like that would help you sell them. In the same interview, he also said that these improvements to the Joy-Cons are not just exclusive to the Switch OLED, but also going to be available for new Joy-Cons for the Switch, as well as to the Switch Lite, which I think is really interesting because if you get Joy-Con drift on your Switch Lite, you're basically screwed because you can't just swap out for different Joy-Cons. When asked specifically if Joy-Con drift is unavoidable, this is what he had to say, and this is what I think is the most interesting point of the interview. He said, quote, "Yes. For example, car tires wear out as the car moves, so they're in constant friction with the ground to rotate. So with that premise, we asked ourselves, how can we improve durability? And not only that, but how can we both operatively and durably coexist? It is something we are continuously tackling." Again, I feel like this is a little bit of a non-answer, but he's still confirming that because of the friction that just naturally happens from playing games, this is eventually going to become a problem. It's really confusing to me though why Nintendo is still really focused on using Joy-Cons if they've already kind of realized there's going to be an eventual wear and tear problem. Like, it's not like Nintendo just can't invent a new Joy-Con that like doesn't use an analog stick. Like, they have the possibilities. Nintendo can create whatever they want and still make it compatible with their console. So I don't really know why they've kind of boxed themselves in here, but I am happy that they're at least being more honest with us. Whatever happens, I'm just excited to see what the solution ends up being.